I'm feeling this music though, man.
It's
I'm
cool.
feel- I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know much about the band when Ed
It's
reached out
okay.
to me, but I went back and listened to the last record on Spotify a little bit ago, and
Oh,
I've
cool.
listened to the news. I've listened to Break Me Down a couple times, watched the video a couple times. I'm
Cool.
feeling it, man. I'm feeling
Great.
it. And
Great.
reading, let's get into it, man. Reading the background of the single. It sounds like you guys had a really big chip on your shoulder when you went in to start writing this music.
No, that's yeah, that's how things in the world of telephone get
Okay.
misconstrued. No, we totally didn't have a chip on our shoulder. I didn't think I reinvented any sort of wheel. I just, this is back in, 2 years ago. And the world was starting to get in swing again, blah blah blah, all that good stuff, right? You
Right.
know, um and we just put this song I tried out to radio, and it didn't reach the top 40 Billboard charts at this time of the meeting with this person, but I definitely knew that I had something special with my song, which I tried, so if that's a chip, then I guess it's a chip. But I wouldn't call it that. I just was very confident in my work, and I knew that I had something special, and it translated, as number 19 in the top 40 Billboard chart. So I don't believe I'm the only person to think that song is special. You know what I mean? Fair to say,
Yeah.
right? You
Yes.
know, but this producer won the argument because even though he's wrong about my song, he's laughing his dick off to the bank because he's a multimillionaire. So, you know, it's all like, but no, I wouldn't characterize a chip at all. We were just really, as a matter of fact, kind of a polar opposite. We were, coming into the studio with a handful of material that we had written for this greatest villain the world has ever seen, and we were just going to get his opinion. And his opinion was, "Oh, this material is great, greatest villain stuff, but the material that you had for your self-titled shit sucked." And um, no, we had no chips on our shoulder at all. He was complimentary about the work of greatest villain, but he's like, "Where's the hook of I tried? I tried," and I'm like, "Oh God, this guy doesn't fucking get it." He doesn't
Oh,
get it,
jeez.
doesn't get it. But it's cool. But like, no, we had no chip. We were just humbly going to show him our songs, and then we kind of, you know, got smashed. So we had no idea of, we had no predeceived notion that we were even going to work with this person. It was just a simple meeting, but it was definitely made clear that, you know, um, this is not the guy. Didn't get the vision, didn't get the history, didn't get to where we were, where we are now, where we're going. And that person ended up being Bob Marlette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask how you got connected with him because holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I, like a lot of people, was just a fan, of all the records that he made, you know what I mean?
Right.
And even my dad was asking me this question, how did you meet Bob Marlette? You know what I mean? And honestly, I think it was just one day we struck up a conversation on Facebook. That conversation led to a phone call. That phone call led to a meeting, and then the meeting after that led to us spending a week at his house recording "Break Me Down."
Nice.
Yeah, and
Crazy.
and it was just very quick. But yeah, he was one of the producers we had meetings with. We had meetings all week at different studios with different producers. We were shopping, and he was the person who got it the most.
Nice.
You know, what we were doing, not just Break Me Down, but what we were doing as a band, where we were trying to go. You know, um, and yeah, he just took the helm. His son did a great deal of work with the engineering. His wife did a great deal of work with even producing my vocal, to be honest. And then, he was kind of like the overseer character of the whole thing, which was really great. And you know, um, it was great. I can't say enough good things about it.
Then working with Zeus on the mastering, how did you
He's a
how
trip.
imp
He's a trip. He's a trip.
how important to the process was he? Because he's the final for the
Yeah.
most, like how important was that process for you guys at getting connected with him, and how did he really help the process?
So this is the second round with Zeus. We Zeus mastered the last full length record, the self-titled.
Right.
So this is the second time we're working with Zeus. He mastered Break Me Down, and he's mixing the rest of the record as well as mastering the rest of the record. So he's got a big,
Nice. Thanks.
big, big hand in this. And yeah, a bunch of people have been asking about Zeus too, and it's like, with a guy like Zeus, it's funny because like he's what he's doing right now. He's recording the guitars to the new Anthrax album. He's producing the New Testament album. He just did the Shadows Fall reunion album, and um, his boss is Rob Zombie, so he's on call at any moment, at any time to do whatever Rob needs
Right.
because he's Rob's staff engineer. He's been on all these, Lords of Salem, 31, all these movies the
Yeah.
monsters. It's all Zeus. It's all Zeus
Wow.
making the music for these movies. So not only has he been producing Zombies records and doing everything for everyone, but he's the guy who composes these music so for these movies. So
Right.
um, Zeus is a trip. He's a really, 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 really good guy. I can't say enough about him. He's a really cool dude. He's just a cool bro. He's a good dude. He's been through so much in the industry that just like nothing phases him.
Right.
Like it's just like, if a problem happens, like we just deal with it and it's just like dealt with very quickly. And it's just like that's the way it should be with like everybody, but like not as everybody is as seasoned as a guy like Zeus.
Right. I feel like a lot of people just, I don't know, maybe they overthink it. They try to overcomplicate it sometimes, especially when it comes to music. And it's like, if it's good and this is the vision, let's do what the vision is. Let's, especially with a song like Break Me Down. That's a very personal song.
For sure.
And, you know, so how, when it comes to your vision for the final product of the song, how hands-on were you with how it sounded in the end?
Oh, I mean, you know, I really, as a producer myself, you know, have to, you know, and Bob and I executive produced,
Mhm.
break me down, but you know, um, you gotta keep, you know, things on time and in check. And with some projects, I find that, I micromanage and I have to keep, what's going on, guys. This was pretty fluid, you know. I knew that when I received like the first round mix of Break Me Down, I knew already that okay, right off the bat, like, you know, we're on the right track. We don't need to rebuild Rome, like there's a great foundation here, so I was definitely instrumental in the whole process, but because of the level of people I was working with, I did not feel I had to micromanage anything. No.
Gotcha. Um, when it came to writing the song,
Sure.
what are some of the messages you really, really wanted to get across that were important to you when it came to the lyrics of the song? Because honestly, like
I
we can
wanted
all relate to this song on some
sure.
level.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and that's true.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to stray away from old habits. So what I did was I just got, and this wasn't the final take. I just got my microphone. I sat in this chair, and I didn't even stand up to do the take. I sat and I just told me that my best was enough. He lied to me, was so rough. I mean, it's not fucking Shakespeare, but I instead of sitting there like monotonously writing lyrics out, I really improvised these two verses and just was like, okay, this is the subject matter. Let's write something. So I wrote those pretty much on the fly, those verses, um, and you know, um, Bob had a great deal in a lot of stuff, like, being in the studio with him. There was, you know, it was all expedited, but he had his fingers all in the pie. So we restructured the solo a little bit. We spiced up the vocal melody here and there. We did a lot of things of that nature.
Nice. I fucking I've listened to it probably 10, 15 times so far. I remember I got it for the first time. I heard it for the first time last week, and I'm like, I just dig it, man. Like it's not Shakespeare, but
No,
it's honest. You can tell that it's coming from a really personal place. And to me, those are the best songs. That's the best music when
oh,
you can
cool.
tell that the band really put themselves into the music. Because I've talked about this with a lot of bands lately. It seems like from like 2010 to 2020,
Yeah.
music, especially rock and metal, there's exceptions, but it seemed very disingenuous and just not real. Like a lot of music the bands were putting out just you weren't feeling it, you know?
I mean, you exist in a world where a band like Dragon Force exists. You know what I mean? Like, you
There's
know what I
exceptions.
mean? And I mean, it's like you're trying to find substance and quality and trying to find relatable material, and then they're, talking about video games and dragons and the fire and the flames and, all this stuff. So, you know, it's just, you know, and then, there's plenty of bands who are just not gonna go there, but they're cookie cutter
Yes.
people, cookie cutter people who have zero emotion and zero message and zero
Mhm.
anything to say, but for some odd reason, because of the way that they look, or they're an influencer, or this, that, the other, they're up there saying it, and whatever, you know, I just, you know,
Yeah, there's so many new bands emerging though over the last probably year or two that the amount of newer bands rising up and writing music that's legitimately just good music with a good message that people can connect with has really blown up over the last couple years, I think. And I don't know if it's
right,
because COVID happened and now people are really saying what they feel and just being more honest, or if bands that are coming up now just got tired of that cookie cutter bullshit. This is about nothing, but it's popular even in
yeah,
like something's just changed with newer bands coming up right now. And you guys are one of those bands that you can
no,
really
thanks,
connect with
man,
and feel what you guys are writing about. It means
appreciate
something.
that, appreciate that. Yeah, we try a lot. We try hard to, and sometimes people get me to try to, sometimes people try to write hooks for me, and it doesn't always work. But like sometimes like people try to say like, man, you wrote songs like Break Me Down and I Tried. So you do have some sort of, you know, dark hope to you, but it's dark. And and I'm like, yeah. And they're like, let's write a song about like hope and perseverance and trying. And I'm like, I'm the wrong guy. Like, I want to,
I feel
I'm
you so much on
like,
that.
I want to write songs that are dark and dreary and depressing and sad.
Yes, it's
And
like, look, life fucking sucks sometimes.
yeah,
People
yeah,
suck. Life sucks. Shit's fucking hard. And,
yeah,
and like, yeah, like obviously, like you came out of whatever situation it was that inspired whatever you were writing about at the time, what the song is
sure,
about.
sure, yeah,
But what makes us connect with those songs is because it helps us get through those moments when we're dealing with it on the back end of it when we finally hear the song. And like, yeah, leave that positive hope and stuff to Taylor Swift and all that stuff. Like rock and metal are not supposed to be happy, everything's fucking amazing. Like, no, go back and listen to the shit from the 90s. Like, life sucks.
yeah.
That's what made those songs so good. And yeah, man, like that's what makes Break Me Down so great is like, yeah, like it's a message, like yeah, thing it gets better, but it also sucks right now too.
Yeah.
People will break you the fuck down,
Yeah.
it's gonna fucking happen. And tell me about the video because the video looks
Cool.
like you guys were just having a fucking blast, man.
It was a lot of work. We shot it at Monarch Studios in downtown LA here.
Okay.
Uh, Andre Brown shot it. We uh it's a set. Wasn't we're not in the middle of the street, people. It's a
Okay.
movie it's a movie set.
Okay.
Um
I wasn't sure. I wondered.
yeah, it's pretty
That-
convincing.
It
Um
is.
so yeah, you're not gonna find a street where you're gonna get that kind of controlled lighting. So yeah, no, it was Monarch Studios. They had this set. We wanted a gritty look for it. Seemed like appropriate enough. And we chatted about, the multiple different possibilities of the video, do we want to have a storyline? Do we want to have actors? Do I want to be the actor? Do we want to portray something else? We were talking long time about, having some sort of authoritarian figure just break everybody down, and it was a very literal translation, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we ended up going with a performance shot, but I feel like there's a lot of raw emotion in there. I think there's a lot of
Mhm.
like realism, and for a performance-based video, I think it's very good, personally.
Yeah, I can. There's something different about the way you guys are, just your body language when you guys are performing in that video, like especially with your facials and your body language, you can tell that you guys are really feeling what the song is about, what you guys are performing, and what you're singing in that video. It's not like a normal, like, oh yeah, we hooked up, we videotaped, we shot us performing the song. Like you guys are living the lyrics of the message of that song while you guys are performing it. And I
And
think that that's what makes the video is that.
yeah, for sure. I think that, because it's raw emotion that people just can't help themselves but connect to, you know.
Yes. So the sophomore record, the record coming out next year, you guys are working
Yep.
on that right now. It's being mastered right now, I think. What I
Mixed.
Okay. What I loved about the self-titled was it's so balanced, it's balanced so well between the electronic elements and then
Oh,
just the straight up rock. So like sonically and musically, is the next record kind of along those lines? Is it more
oh
electronic rock?
yeah,
Is it
we're
more
we're still an industrial band
okay?
for
Okay,
sure.
cool,
So
awesome. Yeah,
you're
I love that about the first record.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So
yeah,
we're still an industrial band.
Okay.
and a lot of people like Sebastian Bach, who I love, will take swings at, bands that play the backing tracks and stuff like that. But, I want to make it really clear. I was talking to, we just played a show at the Whiskey. I just played a show as Steel, not with Worldwide Panic, over this past week on Wednesday. And I had my sound guy from Worldwide Panic help me out with this because I wanted help. Um, and we were just talking about it. And in my solo stuff, we do put a little bit of the backing vocal in the track at some point. And with Worldwide Panic, we don't. There is no there is no backing vocal. The backing track is all the electronics that you hear.
Right.
So I'm working. I'm not harmonizing with myself. I'm not doing anything but working in Worldwide Panic,
Nice.
So um so yeah, no, we're still an industrial band. There's definitely the industrial element still very much prevalent. I would say that is different between this and the last record. Um this is a little bit more dynamic in the sense of um, the different tempos and BPMs and moods that this one goes to. It's definitely a roller coaster. Um, uh, and I feel like, you know, fans who have heard the last record, when they hear this record, they'll be like, I get it. I get it.
Okay.
It's just like, oh, it's a new Worldwide Panic record. I get it. And it's
Okay.
not to say that we're like, you know, you know, trying to repeat ourselves by any means, but like I think especially you, like when you hear this record, you'll be all like, "Oh, I get it. It's World Panic."
Yeah. Yeah.
You got nine original songs, you got one satirical parody, and you got songs that sound alike but are all very, 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 very different. So that's the
Okay.
thing that people are intending, for every song to sound like, Break Me Down. Well, that didn't happen on the last record.
Right.
Not every song sounded like Falling Apart or I Tried. So if that's what you think is what's gonna happen, you're definitely not in tune with what the band is about, and you're gonna be disappointed.
It's a lot of bands. There's some bands that some of my favorite bands have that where it's like albums are so eclectic and there's so many different sounds, but when you listen to it, you know it's that band. Like they have a certain like signature sound or a certain element to their music that like Skillet's one of those bands, like that's a Skillet record. Metallica,
Yep.
that's Metallica. Like it's just there's certain things about it that you can tell that this is that band. And I mean that's one thing that I'm really looking forward to with the next record from you guys is like what you just talked about, just elaborating on that is like you said, when people hear it, they'll know it's a Worldwide Panic album and that it is you guys.
It'll make perfect sense.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. What do you think, like when you sit down and really look at the final product of Break Me Down and what did you say the next record was called? You mentioned it a couple times, I think.
No, it's cool. It's a mouthful, so it's all good. It's the greatest villain the world has ever seen.
Okay, I remember Villain. Okay, cool. I
It's all good.
remember Villain.
People will probably, in the annals of time, when this comes out and gets old, people will probably just refer to it as villain, and I'm fine with that.
Actually, Rob Zombie has that a lot, where it's like a giant, long, like tagline. And like,
I know.
I just found out
If it,
Hellbilly Deluxe had like a long title. I didn't even know it had. Like, I had no
yep.
idea. But when you look at Villain, when you look at Break Me Down, what do you feel like it really says about Worldwide Panic as far as where the band is at right now and where the band is going?
Where it is saying, hey, we did this, and we worked with this person, and this is. And there was a whole bunch of songs structured around and written around that same time. So obviously the songs have continuity and fit together. Um, we did what we do pretty much on every record. As I said, there's nine originals, one, cover. Um, and we try to take you on a ride because it's not a rock opera. I've been saying this a lot. So it's not a rock opera. It's not a concept album, but it's an album that does tell a story.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the story is somebody's born inherently good and through a series of events because not only a bad guy, but the best bad guy. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So,
I love that.
and
Makes me excited.
you know, so, you know, for me, where I'm at right now, what would be really sweet is for Zeus and I to wrap up mixing soon. uh, um and for me to over the holiday season to really, you know, sit down and, you know, enjoy this record, which I've yet to do, you know, on a personal level, because I've only listened to, bounces or this, that, the other. I want to listen to the whole master in sequence, you know, sit back, relax, enjoy it, understand it, digest it. I'm not there yet. So that's my
Right.
Christmas gift to myself.
Nice. Is there anything specifically that you're really interested in or excited to really hear how certain anything specifically turned out on it?
Oh yeah, I'm wondering, I got so many questions in my mind, like how is this going to turn out? I remember recording this. Is it going to translate like this, or am I going to do this? So we're still so in the weeds of it all right now, and you know, um, it's still so, you know, up for grabs, because it's not done yet. So, but we're not gonna do anything stupid. We're not gonna sit here and listen to it for a year and then analyze it for another year and then no, no, no. It's coming out next year. I mean, it'll come out. We're not
Can you
gonna.
tell me, can you tell me what the cover is yet?
Oh, the cover song?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course I can. I really talked about it today. So December 13th, we are putting out our latest cover song, which I'm so excited about. It is Party All the Time, Eddie Murphy, Rick James, and we did an industrial reimagining of Party All the Time. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So, listen, some people are gonna not like it. Some people are gonna be like, hey, I was just in the middle of this really serious record, and then all of a sudden Party All the Time comes on, and it's like, yeah, no, Party All the Time is, you know, is the reason why it's probably not a rock opera or concept album, because it's just there. But you know what? That's what we do. It's what we've been doing, and we're probably gonna continue doing it with the covers.
I love that. I,
Yeah.
I love the Tears for Fears cover. I
Oh,
love
thanks,
Everybody
man.
Wants to Rule the World. I loved it. I'm a sucker for a good 80s cover. I love 80s music in general.
It was just the era we were going back to. We were going to
Nice.
do, I was really big on losing my religion. I fought really hard to do losing my religion as a cover, but honestly, I think that we looked at the situation. We're like, how many people are going to know who REM is?
Oh,
And like, like
oh man, that makes me sad. But yeah, like,
yeah, and that's that. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, we would have just kind of like chosen a song from a band that, a 20 something would have been like, who?
they would have thought it's original song.
Yeah, right.
Man,
So, I mean, you take Party All the Time, and yeah, 20 somethings probably heard that song in some club somewhere at some point in their life.
right. That's exciting, man. Dude,
They, they don't know that it's Eddie Murphy. I don't know if they, I don't even know if a 20 something knows who Eddie Murphy is.
Oh, don't say that. Oh no. Oh,
You know, I
you might
mean,
be right too. That's the thing. Oh man, I can't wait to hear the record, man. I'm loving the self-titled album. Um, I just I just love how honest you guys are and how real you guys are. I just absolutely love it. And
appreciate it.
Break Me Down is so good. I can't wait to hear
Thanks,
the
man.
record, man. Thanks for taking time to do this today,
Of
and
course.
I appreciate it. And I'm sure we will see you at some point on the road. If not, we'll be talking again next year, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, where are you in the
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis? Cool. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So lots of good venues out here. So Pierre's up in Fort Wayne is one of my
Yep.
favorite venues.
We play
Uh,
Pierre's.
God, everybody's got a Pierre story.
I got a few.
Oh man, yeah, that place gets.
I don't know
And
if we can, but I would have to curse, and I don't know if we're allowed to curse on
you
here.
are allowed to
Uh,
curse. I don't care. Yes.
Somebody was really into, okay, one of these, this couple was really into me, and this wife was like, I'm gonna you. And the husband was sitting there and she's like, no, you aren't. And I'm like, guys, I gotta go. Meet me at the merch booth though. Get a t-shirt, you know? Like and then like we went to another time we came through there, somebody put and usually you get mad at things like this, right? But somebody put a pair of pink panties on my guitar player's guitar bag and wrote uh, "Pussy Killer."
Yep, that's a Pierce. Yep, that sounds like Pierre. Yep. I interviewed Corey Taylor once, and I just mentioned I was like, man, when you played Piers with Stone Sour, he's like, even Corey Taylor's like, oh fuck, Pierre's that fucking place. I'm like, oh my God, if that tells you anything, like it's just
It's a
that
wild
place is
scene
a
over
party,
there.
man. That place is just fucking insane. That
Yeah,
crowd.
there's a picture of our guitar player with the pair of panties somewhere buried deep in my phone.
Oh
PP
my,
would kill it, you know.
oh my God. Yeah, that. Well, hopefully we'll see you at Pierre's at some point down the line next year
I
if
love to play
get
Piers
into
again. Absolutely.
so awesome there, man. Dude, have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the time off before the album comes out, and we'll see you
Yes,
next year and talk to you next year too, I'm sure.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Reggie.
You got it, man. We'll talk to you later.